around like that at age 58. So I want to get that out the way first. But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul. Now, unlike people who worked with me, unlike people who are friends and colleagues, what have you, I didn't find it funny.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank.
That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him.
Yes.
He recognizes that he's too big for him.
Stephen A. Smith unleashed a fiery critique of Jake Paul's upcoming bout with Gervonta Davis, labeling the matchup as fundamentally unfair. According to Smith, Jake Paul's size and weight advantages make the fight less about competition and more about spectacle. He accused Jake of continuously seeking opponents who pose minimal risk, calling his matchmaking strategy a carefully engineered illusion of challenge. Smith insisted that Paul's fights rarely test his real boxing ability, arguing that every new bout seems designed to maintain his winning record rather than prove his legitimacy. To Smith, this matchup is not only one-sided but also damaging to boxing's credibility, exposing Jake as someone who chases publicity and comfort rather than genuine opponents who could expose his flaws inside the ring.
That was Mike Tyson. Now you're going into the ring against a cat that's 228. He's a young lion, and no matter what questions may exist about Jake Paul and his ability to box real boxers, because we haven't really seen that yet from him, we don't question his power. We know he's got power.
When Stephen A. Smith sat down with Gervonta Davis's coach, the question was direct: who deserves to face Tank next? Without hesitation, the coach responded with conviction: anyone who's been running their mouth about Tank. He mentioned names like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, both of whom have publicly questioned Davis's dominance. For the coach, this isn't just about revenge, it's about restoring respect. He believes those who doubt Davis's power need to experience it firsthand. To him, the best way to silence the critics is to make them feel the full weight of Tank's punches. The coach emphasized that it's not about hype or hate, it's about re-establishing what true competition means. He wants these so-called rivals humbled inside the ropes, where talk ends and talent takes over.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him, you're training him all the time, you know him, both y'all from the streets of Baltimore, the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down. We working on the big four. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Comedian and sports commentator Aries Spears offered a brutally honest yet entertaining perspective on the event. To him, this upcoming bout feels more like a grand stage act than a legitimate fight. Spears didn't hesitate to call it a circus, mocking the way celebrity and sport have blended into one confusing show. Still, despite his criticism, Spears expressed total faith in Gervonta Davis's ability to deliver devastation when it matters. He confidently predicted that Tank would finish the fight within 3 rounds, ending the spectacle before it overstays its welcome. What makes Spears' view fascinating is his contradiction. He despises the event's circus-like nature but admires the artistry of Davis's precision and knockout power. He summed it up perfectly: it's ridiculous, but it's beautiful chaos. For many fans, Spears' words ring true: this fight may be absurd, but it's impossible to look away.
Next fight that's coming up is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul.
Oh, this is such a circus.
Yeah. Look, according to BetOnline.ag, Gervonta Davis is favored -240, Jake Paul's +190. So more than twice the odds for Davis. Davis is a lot smaller, but he's a real serious fight.
I'm predicting a 3rd round knockout.
Ooh.
Third
round knockout.
He's out of there. Listen, I don't know what's the bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, this is honestly just disappointing. as a boxing fan to just keep seeing these circuses happen over and over again?
I don't know if the rumor's true, but I heard Floyd was talking about coming out of retirement to fight Crawford. Now that's got some panache to it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but
it would be.
I think Floyd will end up taking a loss.
Finally.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You mess up that record.
Yeah, and I would respect him for it because we know how much he's tried to protect the record. Take the risk. This is what great fighters are supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's interesting because people were saying that Terrence Crawford should retire because he's, what, 43-0 at this point?
Okay.
He's like 37 years old. I personally don't think
But he still got the goods, though.
he's got the good.
Yeah, he still got the goods.
Because Canelo was a monster. Crawford had been dominating for a while.
Right.
And like he had only had like 2 losses, one of which was Mayweather, very early in his career. But this whole like Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis thing, just like, because Gervonta was supposed to fight Roach. It was supposed to be a rematch because it was, I believe, a draw last time.
Yeah.
So you go and fight Jake Paul instead? I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
And clearly that's what it's about. It's the bag, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have Denzel Washington fighting somebody. Like, you know, they're going to start putting like old men. I mean, they've already putting old men in the ring.
As long as before the fight, Denzel looks at his watch and goes, 16 seconds. I'm with it.
Never one to hold back, Stephen A. Smith once again voiced his frustration with boxing's growing obsession with celebrity matchups. He argued that Gervonta Davis's talent deserves a higher purpose, to face fighters who can truly challenge him, not entertainers who treat the sport like a business stunt. Smith pushed for meaningful bouts that could define Davis's legacy, suggesting rematches and showdowns that would actually test his skill and endurance. He pointed to names like Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, and Teofimo Lopez, fighters capable of forcing Davis to dig deep and elevate his greatness. In Smith's words, fans don't want theater, they want truth in the ring. His message was clear: Gervonta Davis should be remembered as a champion of competition, not as another star swept up in the wave of boxing's new entertainment era.
To me personally, I want to see him fight a Garcia again. I want to see him fight a Teofimo Lopez, somebody like that, that's got some power, somebody that has the potential to inflict some pain upon him, because I don't know if anybody can do it. And I've totally lost it with David Haney. After what I saw Ryan Garcia do to him, even though Ryan Garcia was a bit bulked up.
A growing chorus of boxing commentators has begun losing patience with Jake Paul's approach to the sport. They see a repeating cycle of fight announcements that favor attention-grabbing mismatches over real challenges. Many argue that Jake's fights are crafted more for viral moments than for genuine athletic progression. The pattern, they claim, is predictable: flashy opponents, massive marketing, and outcomes that generate headlines but little respect. Critics accuse Jake of cherry-picking matchups to maintain control of the narrative, avoiding equally skilled fighters who could truly test him. Though his events draw millions of eyes, purists insist that the entertainment value has come at a price: the erosion of boxing's authenticity. To them, Jake Paul remains a performer first and a pugilist second.
Performance. Jake Paul won the fight, but yeah, that was that. This time, Jake Paul is to take on Tank Davis. Tank Davis, he was recently in the news for being arrested for a domestic violence incident involving one of his kids' mother. He was alleged to have slapped her about the place. The charges were later dropped, to be fair to him, but yeah, that was when he was last in the news. What is interesting is just a couple of months ago, Tank Davis was saying openly that he'd lost his passion for boxing and that he wanted time away from the sport. There was speculation that he might even retire, as he was experiencing extreme mental fatigue from boxing, depression, and there were mental health concerns over him. However, I guess the opportunity to earn a truck full of money, fighting a completely worthless exhibition fight against Jake Paul, was enough to make him change his mind about boxing. Funny that, isn't it? But you know what, I'm not even going to waste your time or mine critiquing this utter nonsense. Suffice to say that this so-called fight we're talking about is an exhibition, and it pits Jake Paul, who is a cruiserweight, by the way, weighs in excess of 200 pounds, and Tank Davis, who is, he was the WBA lightweight champion, who weighs in at about 135 pounds when he fights. So that's a disparity of some 65 pounds. In old money, that's about 4.5 stone. There's also a significant difference in height. Jake Paul is roughly, 6'1", 2". Gervonta Davis is 5'5" at best. So, you know, there's a height disparity there of some 8 inches. And once again, this is Jake Paul showing total disrespect to boxing.
As discussions around Gervonta Davis's decisions continue, analysts have started questioning whether financial motives are overshadowing his pursuit of legacy. Many believe his team is prioritizing lucrative bouts over career-defining challenges. The proposed fight with Jake Paul only reinforces that notion. It represents boxing's modern dilemma, money over meaning. Davis's explosive power guarantees high pay-per-view sales, and pairing him with a YouTube celebrity multiplies the commercial appeal. Yet, for many purists, this trend is alarming. They worry that fighters now measure greatness by profits, not performance. While no one doubts Tank's skill or star power, critics fear that his path forward is being guided less by championship ambition and more by financial opportunity.
Look at how Tank started acting after he made $40 million with Ryan. When he make another $40+ million with Jake,
he's gonna go make $40 million fighting Jake Paul, and then he's gonna come back and fight Lamont Rowe for what? He's gonna come back and fight Shakur Stevenson for what? He's not gonna fight none of those guys.
No, the only way he fight any of them guys, Turkey gonna have to hit him with the Crawford money. Cause that's the thing, you do this for a reason, bro. Like, I get it, you want him to be competitive, but his goal is money. He made 40 with Ryan plus everything in between. Now he get this 40-50 million plus. He don't even gotta fight no more. So now if you want him to fight Shakur, give me that Canelo money.
Veteran trainer Jeff Mayweather added his voice to the growing skepticism, questioning the integrity of the matchup. His concern is rooted in boxing's most fundamental rule: weight classes exist for a reason. Jake Paul's natural size advantage, his reach, mass, and strength, creates a physical imbalance that can't be dismissed. Mayweather argued that such mismatches not only endanger fighters but also degrade the sport's structure. Even though Gervonta Davis possesses elite skill, Jeff believes the size disparity makes the contest inherently unfair. He called it a spectacle disguised as sport, warning that this trend could permanently blur the boundaries between competition and show business.
It's kind of weird, because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Carl Froch, known for his blunt and fearless opinions, tore into Jake Paul's matchmaking decisions. Froch couldn't hide his disbelief that Jake continues to select smaller opponents while avoiding bigger, stronger fighters in his own weight range. He argued that Jake's avoidance of legitimate heavyweights like Anthony Joshua or established cruiserweights exposes the true motivation behind his fights: viral fame, not competition. Froch labeled the bout an insult to the sport, claiming that Jake's pursuit of mismatched fights might bring attention but simultaneously erodes boxing's honor. He mocked the size difference, pointing out that Jake could weigh well over 200 pounds while Davis might not even reach 150. To Froch, that's not ambition, it's manipulation, and it's slowly turning the sport into scripted entertainment.
Fighting AJ, Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think, but the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in. I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf. I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe. to the best channel in the business, Frotch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Daniel Cormier, one of the most respected analysts in combat sports, expressed deep disappointment in the Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis fight. He stated plainly that it lacks sporting value, predicting that the outcome will be predictable from the opening bell. Cormier emphasized that weight disparity doesn't just change the numbers, it changes the entire fight dynamic, stamina, power absorption, balance, and safety. To him, the bout symbolizes everything wrong with boxing's modern direction. He lamented how the sport has become more about spectacle than substance, warning that these kinds of events risk alienating serious fans and tarnishing boxing's rich tradition. His comments echoed a broader sentiment, that the sport's soul is being traded for short-term attention.
Wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him.
Yes.
He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why
He's
he's
been a world
taking this
champion
fight.
so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why and how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like,
But
I
Jake
can't
Paul-
think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, I mean, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and the Jose Sulaiman was very upset that he wasn't going to be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's the thing that's happened since the beginning of the time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing. But with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at 136 pounds.
Observers have noted an irony surrounding the backlash against this fight. Despite the widespread criticism, the controversy itself fuels the machine that keeps boxing profitable. Promoters, networks, and even rival fighters benefit from the storm of debates and reactions. Every critique turns into a marketing push, every rant online becomes another pay-per-view sale. It's a paradox, those condemning the fight are also amplifying its reach. In today's media-driven era, outrage equals advertisement. Modern boxing, they argue, no longer thrives on competition alone but on the noise that surrounds it. Whether fans love it or hate it, the spectacle ensures everyone stays invested.
Criticism for fighting Jake Paul, but yet at the same time, he is going to fight Jake Paul. Now, what I find interesting is how people on one hand are going to criticize it, but on the other hand, try to take advantage of it for their own profit. So Shakur Stevenson, definitely for press purposes, definitely for publicity purposes, offers to get in the training camp and spar for Jake Paul. Spar Jake Paul for the tank fight. Now, why would he be doing this? It's called copycat crap. Because the last big fight that took place, which was Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, guess what happened? Jaron Ennis went and sparred Canelo Alvarez to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terrence Crawford. So, do I think that is coincidental? No, I do not. I think that it is trying to have your cake and eat it too. You are trying to complain and say Gervonta Davis is not a real competitive fighter, that this is a sideshow, freak show fight, but yet you want your name associated with it and you want to participate in it for your own good gain. Let me assure you that when Terrence Crawford said in an interview that he wouldn't fight Jake Paul. That's not a serious fight. And then they said, well, would you fight Jake Paul for $200 million? And he said, I'd be fighting Jake Paul.
At its core, this fight has sparked a much deeper discussion about boxing's identity. It's no longer just about who wins inside the ring, it's about what the event represents outside of it. Jake Paul's rise proves that popularity can overpower pedigree, while Gervonta Davis's involvement shows that even top-tier fighters aren't immune to chasing fame-driven bouts. Critics say these events erode the line between sport and entertainment, reducing boxing to a spectacle for clicks rather than competition for glory. Yet, others argue it's simply evolution, boxing adapting to survive in the age of social media and streaming. Regardless of stance, one truth remains: this fight forces the sport to confront its crossroads. Is boxing still a discipline defined by skill, endurance, and heart? Or has it evolved into an industry where fame dictates the fight card?
£5, bearing in mind Tank Davis fights at 135, that's £60 size difference, and Tank often weighs in light at 133.5 pounds. You know, he's 5'5", he's not a big guy. Okay, let's be honest, he's tiny. I could literally put him in my pocket. You know, he's a pocket rocket, but he's small. Yes, I know, I went too far. Let's move on. Jake's been fighting a cruiserweight, over 200 pounds. You know, he's 6'1". He's just a bigger guy, you know, a different beast. This is what Jake does. Love or hate him, he knows how to generate interest, get people talking. In his words, do the unthinkable. But guess what? People will tune in. What can I say? The guy's clever. He calls out AJ. The fight's looking likely. Everybody's outraged. Can't believe it. Then bang, he's fighting Tank. The man's half the size. He's done it again. Whether you like it or not, he's a marketing genius. He knows how to keep his name on your tongue. Everyone slated him for fighting Mike Tyson. I did too. He was fighting an old man with health problems. But guess what? I tuned in. And do you know why? Because curiosity killed the cat, and I wasn't alone. 100 million plus people tuned in.
And with that, the discussion comes full circle. This fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis isn't just a contest of power, it's a clash of ideals. The critics, the fans, the promoters all represent pieces of a larger puzzle about where boxing stands today. Whether it's a farce or a phenomenon, one thing is certain: everyone will be watching.